Hi everyone, my name is Miss Fail, and today we are going to be reading Jack and the Beanstalk. Now I'm sure you've probably heard this story before, but you may not have heard this version of Jack and the Beanstalk. It's retold and illustrated by Stephen Kellogg. Here we go. There was once upon a time a poor widow who only had a son named Jack and a cow named Milky White. And all they had to live on was the milk of the cow that he gave every morning, which they carried to the market and sold. But one morning, Milky White gave no milk, and they didn't know what to do. "Cheer up, Mother. I'll go and get work somewhere," said Jack. "We've tried that before, and nobody will take you," cried his mother. "We must sell Milky White, and with that money, we'll start a shop or something." On his way to the market, Jack met a funny-looking old man. "Well, good morning, Jack," he said. "Good morning to you," said Jack, and wondered how he knew his name. "Can you tell me how many beans make 5, said the man. 2 in each hand and 1 in your mouth," said Jack, sharp as a needle. "Right," said the man. "And as you are such a bright lad, I don't mind doing a swap with you. You're a cow for these beans." "Go along," said Jack. "Ah, but these are magical beans," said the man. "If you plant them tonight, they will grow to the sky by the morning." "Really?" said Jack. "Yes. And if it doesn't turn out to be true, you can have your cow back." "Back already," said his mother. "Tell me, how much did you get for Milky White?" "You'll never guess, Mother." "Could it be 5 pounds, 10, 15? "No," she cried. "It can't be 20. "I knew you couldn't guess." "What do you say to these magical beans? Plant them tonight and—" "What?" said Jack's mother. "Have you been such a dolt? To give away Milky White, the best milker in the parish, for a set of paltry beans? Off with you to bed. As for you and your precious beans, here they go, out the window." I don't think she's very happy with him. So, Jack went upstairs to his little room in the attic. Sad and sorry he was, to be sure, as for his mother's sake and for the loss of his supper, as he dropped off to sleep. Something's happening there. When Jack woke up, he saw that the beans had sprung into a big beanstalk that went up, up, up till they reached the sky. So the old man told truth after all. Jack gave a jump on the beanstalk, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed till at last he reached the sky. Jack walked along, and he walked along, and he walked along, till he came to a great big tall house, and on the doorstep was a great big tall woman. "Good morning, Mom," said Jack. "Could you be so kind as to give me some breakfast?" "It's breakfast you want," said the great big tall woman. "It's breakfast you'll be if you don't move on. My man is an ogre, and there's nothing he likes better than broiled boys on toast." "Oh, please, Mom," cried Jack. "I've had nothing to eat since yesterday morning. Really and truly, Mom, I may as well be broiled as die of hunger." Well, the ogre's wife was not half so bad after all. She took Jack into the kitchen, and she gave him some bread and cheese, when all of a sudden, thump, 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 the whole house began to tremble with the noise of someone coming. "Goodness gracious me," said the ogre's wife. "Come along, quick." And she bundled Jack into the oven just as the ogre came in. He was a big one, to be sure. "Oh, wife," he said, "what's this I smell? Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Uh-oh. "Nonsense," said his wife. "You're dreaming. Or perhaps you smell the scraps of a boy you liked so much for yesterday's dinner. Here, you go and wash wash and tidy up, and by the time you come back, those calves will be broiled for your breakfast." Well, the ogre had his breakfast, and after he went to his big chest and took out a couple of bags of gold, and down he sat and counted, and he began to nod, and he began to snore, till the whole house shook again. Then Jack crept out of the oven, grabbed a bag of gold, and was off before you could say Jack Robinson. When Jack came to the beanstalk, he threw down the gold, which of course fell into his mother's garden. Then Jack climbed down. "Well, Mother," he said, "wasn't I right about the beans? They are magical, you see." So they lived off the big bag of gold for some time. But at last they came to the end of it, and Jack made up his mind to try his luck once more at the top of the beanstalk. One fine morning he rose up early and jumped onto the beanstalk, and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and he walked till at last he came to the great big tall house he had been to before. There, sure enough, standing at the top of the doorway, was the great big tall woman. "Go away, boy," said the big tall woman, "or else my man will eat you up for breakfast." "But aren't you the youngster who came here once before? Do you know that very day my man missed one of his bags of gold?" "That's strange, Mom," said Jack, bold as brass. "I dare say I could tell you something about that, but I'm so hungry. I can't speak until I've had something to eat." Well, the big tall woman was so curious that she took him in again. All happened as it did before. Thump, thump, thump. They heard the ogre's footsteps, and his wife Jack hid Jack away in the oven. Fee, fi, fo, fum. After breakfast, the ogre said, "Wife, bring me the hen that lays golden eggs." So she brought it to the ogre and said, "Lay," and it laid an egg of all gold. Soon the ogre began to nod his head and snore till the house shook. Then Jack tiptoed out of the oven, nabbed the golden hen, and off he peltered. Uh-oh, I don't think the ogre is going to be too happy about that. But this time, the hen gave a cackle that woke the ogre, and just as Jack got out of the house, he heard him roaring, "Wife, wife, what have you done with my golden hen?" When Jack got home, he showed his mother his wonderful hen and said, "Lay," to it, and it laid a golden egg every time he said lay. Well, it wasn't long before Jack decided once again to try his luck up there at the top of the beanstalk. I don't think that's a good idea. This time, he knew better than to go straight to the ogre's house. When the big tall woman came out with a pail, he crept into the house and got into the bread box. He hadn't been there long when he heard thump, 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 as before, and in came the ogre and his wife. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. I smell 'em, wife, I smell 'em. Do you, dearie? Said the ogre's wife. Well, if it's the little rogue that stole your golden hen, then he's sure to have gotten in the oven. Oof, they're looking for him. They both rushed to the oven, but Jack wasn't there, and the ogre's wife said, "There you are again with your fee, fi, fo, fum. Why, of course it's the boy you caught last night that I broiled you for breakfast," she said. "How forgetful I am, and how careless you are not to know the difference between live and dead after all these years." "Well, I could have sworn," muttered the ogre, and he searched the larder and the cupboards and everything. Only, luckily, he didn't think of the bread box. After his breakfast was over, the ogre called out, "Wife, bring me my golden harp." So she brought it, and he said, "Sing." And she sang, the golden harp sang the most beautiful song. And it went on singing till the ogre fell asleep and began to snore like thunder. Oh my goodness. Then Jack lifted the lid very quietly and crept like a mouse on his hands and knees till he came to the table, and up he crawled and caught hold of the golden harp. Jack is sneaky. But the harp called out, "Master, master!" and the ogre woke up. Oh my goodness, what a face. How scary. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the ogre came rushing after. When the ogre saw Jack climbing down for dear life, he swung himself onto the beanstalk, which shook with his weight. Down climbed Jack, and after him the ogre. Jack called out, "Mother, mother, bring me an axe!" There he goes. Jack's mother rushed with an axe in her hand, and Jack gave a chop at the beanstalk, cutting it in two. The ogre fell down and broke his crown, and the beanstalk came tumbling after. With showing the golden harp and selling the golden eggs, Jack and his mother became very rich, and Jack married a great princess, and they all lived happily ever after. Man, what an adventure Jack had. Jack was really brave going up the beanstalk 3 times knowing the ogre was up there. But I guess it worked out for him in the end. Hope you enjoyed this book.